be amended as further proposed by Honorable Kuria. Will as many as have this opinion say aye? Aye. Honorable members, sometimes honorable members, I want to put the question. Please, we make decisions in this house through the votes. I put the question, which is that new section 87A be further amended as proposed by the Honorable Kuria Moses. Will as many as of the opinion say aye? Aye. And as many as the contrary opinion say nay? Or remember as the ayes have it. I now propose a question to the new section 87A, which is that new section 87A be part of the bill. I see no interest to debate on this. And members, I put the question, which is that new section 87A be part of the bill. Will as many as of the opinion say aye? Aye. And as many as the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next.
B, Goja. Promissory note. Kuna kakitu?
Nimepata picha ya Keleke na natanga wakiongea. So I'll post it today.
New section 87B.
Order members, we have a proposed amendment, new section 87B. Again, by Honorable Moses Kuria. Please move your amendment.
Madam Chair, I want to move that new section 87B be read a second time. This section, Madam Chair, addresses the issue of the instrument that is supposed to be given to a supplier or contractors in case they do not get paid within the times that we have already addressed under 87A. And Madam Chair, today we are not creating new debts, as some members have alluded. The debt is there, just it is not recognized. Poor people in this country are lending to government without any evidence. So we are not adding to any new debt. Already government owes contractors 300 billion. County government 108 billion, and national government 200 billion. These promissory notes actually will force Treasury to give contractors something within which they can go and defend their property within the banks so that they are not auctioned. And the interest thereof is going to be borne by the contracting authority. Madam Chair, and I want to say this to my very able chair of the Budget Committee. We are not here to serve Treasury. We are here to serve the people of this country who are committing suicide. And we are here to cause some pain, because why should someone contract or buy some goods and services if they don't have money in the first place? This section, Madam Chair, is going to force good behavior on the side of counties, is going to force good behavior on the side of the national government, on the side of Treasury, so that we have got good financial responsibility, good fiscal responsibility on the side of all the entities, so that we are able to live within our means and not punish Kenyan suppliers and Kenyan contractors in case we don't have good fiscal discipline. With that, Madam Chair, I beg to move.
Honorable Leader Majority.
Opening a Pandora's box, and we need to be specific on this interest rate. So if we can make those changes, I really feel this is a proper amendment at the right time when the Kenyan businessmen and women are suffering out there and wondering what to do as their properties get auctioned.
Very well, very well. And again, just also for information, on the same ruling by the Speaker on the on the dates, 30th April 2019, I must pronounce myself, that the 87 section, it was advised and recommended that the House does proceed to consider the proposed amendments. So it may be considered by the whole committee. So let's debate on this. Yes, Honorable Makali. and we must appreciate the members. This is now the
thank you.
law-making process.
Yeah, thank you, Madam
The
Chair.
members are very keen. Yes.
Madam Chair, I want to assure my friend Honorable Okuri that we are supporting this amendment. And basically, we are supporting it because it is going to benefit Kenyans. But at the same time, we must also note some things which are important to be noted. Because what will happen at the end of the day, we are likely to clock the system that even the Kenyans who want to benefit will not benefit. Let me explain to you. What will happen? The government does not collect money upfront. It does every month. We pay taxes monthly. So it's the same money it uses to pay these contractors. Now what is going to happen? Through this amendment, we are going to demand that by the time the government awards any contract, the money must be in the account, in the consolidated fund. Because if you don't do that, then this law will be applicable. So what is likely to happen, Moses Kuria, is the other side of the story is that we are likely to reduce implementation, to slow down implementation. So the same contractors who we imagine will be benefiting by getting contracts will actually have no contracts to implement. So I think as we do this, is what I'm saying, the truth of the matter is, as we are putting these facts on record, is that we are sure that we know. And what I would propose is, Madam Chair, I agree. We want to help Kenyans. But at the same time, we must also appreciate the way the economy works. Otherwise, we are going to clock the system, and then we will not be able to move. So what I would propose is, I want Kenyans to be paid when they work, but also be paid within the realistic arrangements. So even as we support, my proposal would be, we have agreed to pay within 90 days, which is very good. I would humbly request Honorable Kuria, the issue of the accruing interest, when it's going to start accruing, we could actually push that period slightly longer so that we say, pay by 90, if by 6 months you have not started paying, accrue interest. So that we allow the Treasury about 3 months to play around. In that case, it will be helping more implementation to this country. Thank you, Madam Chair.
The member for Nyeri Town. Almost.
Because again, the people who are going to end up paying this interest are Kenyan taxpayers. Madam Speaker, as a House, we are supposed to be legislating for fiscal discipline of government. We are supposed to be legislating for fiscal discipline of government. Madam Chair, what concerns me is, here we are now giving government leeway not to pay people. Because what you're telling us is, if you give me a contract and you don't pay me in 90 days, you can then tell me you're going to pay me interest. And again, it has been raised that we don't have an upper limit of how long that interest can go. So you can be raising interest for 10 years. Madam Chair, the people who are supplying government, the Kenyans who are supplying government, whether they are big companies or small companies, are supplying government with money that they then expect to be paid at a profit. Madam Chair, if you are going to spend 6 months or 1 year or 24 months waiting for this payment to be done, what you're telling me, even if I have a promissory note, which Honorable Kajwang has raised, can only be accepted in the bank, we know we cannot legislate. In my opinion, we should not legislate for mistakes of government. We cannot pass a law and then pass another law that says that if government doesn't do what this law has said, then they should do this. I think this would be setting a very bad precedent in how we are making law. If we are giving government an opportunity then to not pay, and we are trying to legislate to make sure that we solve the problem of Kenyan suppliers by making sure they get their money within a certain period.
Very well.
So, Madam Chair, as I finish, if we agree that government, means when I go to borrow money, I borrow money.
Today, in the last 10 years, the National Treasury has not issued any promissory notes. And the history behind it, but it was discarded after the Anglo-leasing scandal. Now, what will happen, and I want Honorable TJ to listen to me. TJ, I want you to listen to me. As we stay here today, there is no issuance of promissory notes by the National Treasury. This was done after the many scandals, including the Anglo-leasing. Today, I can tell you, we are fighting corruption. The moment as a House we introduce the issuance of promissory notes by contractors, then they can go to my constituency, they do shoddy work or they don't do the work, and they can sue government because they are holding that note. I am telling you. So as much as we feel we're helping our people to hold some documents, ultimately that will be counterproductive in the war against corruption. Ask yourself, why did the government stop the issuance of promissory notes in the last 10 years? The reason was issues like agro-leasing, where people will supply hot air, but they have got something to sue government 10, 20 years to come. So Honorable Moses Kuria, you must look at the implications. We agree with you, you're helping the people of Kenya, but we're opening another floodgate.
Very well. Other members have seen the Honorable Kuria listening and also making consultations. And because maybe our concern will be addressed, let me hear from the one of the amendment, Honorable Kuria, and then
Before you let him the last.
then yes, he could be also addressing your issues of the interest and everything. Honorable, let me hear out of interest. Let me give Lento Imanga Kuria. Honorable Kuria. No, just before you, let me give Lento Imanga Musa, member for
Madam Chair.
Maybe they can
Madam
reach
Chair,
what you
this
want
House
them.
must, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. This House must ensure that there is financial discipline in government. What we are talking about here is, I think, this in discipline. From the experience we have, you cannot advertise tender if there is no funds. In fact, when you put tenders on the newspapers, money is already committed. Unless then we are not going through following the normal procedures of the Financial Management Act. So the issue here is, first of all, in my view, I support his bill. But the issue of perpetual notes and debts, that's one I don't support. What we need to do is to make sure that government is the biggest trade makers in this country. They are the ones who actually money that circulates in the government in the market is from the government. They do a lot of business in terms of tendering. So the issue is a lot of Kenyans, especially youth and even women, have borrowed money in the banks. They use LPO financing. But banks now, because of non-payment by government, banks have now declined to give out the money to advance money to the youth. So let's make sure that if it's 45 days, it's 45 days. To me, 60 days or 90 days is too much. You are giving them an opportunity to continue with bureaucracy.
Yes. Very well. I just love the concerns from the member for Iseme, and then I give Kikuyu. Please just a comment. Let us not debate. We can debate till
Chair, first of all, I must congratulate Honorable Kuria. I think these ideas are really fantastic, and he should actually follow them up. But I think they are raising very fundamental issues. Let me just take the one of you start to procure when you have money. That definition of having money normally means you have money in the budget, it has been stated in the budget. It does not mean you actually have cash in the bank as a ministry or a procuring agent. Now, if we now bring this, what people will do, they will not do tenders until they have money. But because money is being collected in time, what will happen is they wait and there's no money. By the time they do the tenders, it is too late. And what we are going to have is a huge lack of absorption. So that actually officers, accounting officers, will not procure. And you will have at the end of the year, you are saying they were not able to absorb, because they could not procure in time. So I would appeal to Honorable Kuria that this amendment should actually be brought as an amendment on their own, not personal miscellaneous, so that we go over them very, very thoroughly. And I've said, I'm very worried of many miscellaneous amendments we are making. This, what he has brought today, interest rates, promissory notes, we should look at how we punish the government. But remember, when you punish the government, you end up punishing Kenyans.
Very well.
The promissory notes, if they go to the banks, you will just actually be putting the matter forward into the banks.
Very well,
without solving the problem.
Honorable member for Seme. The last one, let me hear from the member for Kikuyu. And then now, before I put the question, I give it back to the chairperson.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Honorable Member for Kikuyu.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, and I want to agree with the Vice Chair of the Public Investments Committee, who indeed stated that as legislators, we should not be curtailed by the views of the National Treasury, and indeed the provisions of Article 14 are clear that it is in consultation with the National Treasury, and I just took liberty to inform the House, since a decision had already been made and the Speaker had made a communication on the views of the National Treasury, Honorable Speaker, on that particular issue. But I just want to point out two things to the Honorable Moses Kuria, and I clearly understand where it's coming from, especially coming from Kiambu County, where pending bills are also very huge at the county level, and many of our people are suffering, business people. But we must be careful, very careful, as the Honorable Nyikal and Honorable Makali Mulu says, when we legislate, Honorable Speaker, we will be putting it in statute that certain things must happen within a specified period of time. When we introduce the issue, as the member for Samburu has said, the issue of promissory notes, Honorable Speaker, and it is true that indeed these pending bills are actually debt, but they are what you would constitute as informal debt that has not been formalized. What we are now doing with this particular amendment, Honorable Speaker, is formalizing informal debt. And the implication that will have on the fiscal discipline that the member for Nyeri Town has spoken about, the fiscal discipline the Honorable Nyikal and the TJ Kajwang are speaking about, we will be distorting that fiscal framework that we have set for ourselves by now formalizing the informal debt into what would constitute formal debt. And it will have such huge implications on the level of our national debt, Honorable Speaker. As we speak, Honorable Speaker, those of us who attended the Leadership Forum in Mombasa, we heard from a presenter, I can't remember, it was a presenter, I don't remember, from either Kenya Association of Manufacturers or KEPSA. It was Kenya Association of Manufacturers. That at the county level, Honorable Speaker, we are speaking of an informal debt of the tune of 108 billion. If you incorporate the informal debt from the national government, Honorable Speaker, you're talking about 400 billion shillings. That is equivalent to what we were unable to procure in China for SGR. Therefore, ask yourselves, even as we legislate, what are we going to do to our fiscal framework and in terms of our national debt levels by formalizing an informal debt? If we are to issue promissory notes to the tune of 400 billion at once, what are we going to be doing to the level of our national debt, Honorable Speaker? I would really want to ask my good friend, the Honorable Moses Kuria, to probably consider even legislating on issues to do around issues of invoice discounting, because as the Honorable Leader of Majority says, promissory notes are tools, financial tools that we used in the past in this country and in other countries. But in today's world, we have new ways of doing business. People are able to discount invoices now. If we put it in statute that government must pay within 90 days, for instance, after 90 days, Honorable Speaker, and it will be very easy now to be able to trade with our invoices and discount these invoices with our commercial banks, Honorable Speaker. And I would really want to ask Honorable Kuria to rethink the question of promissory notes, Honorable Speaker.
Okay. With that information, our members to Honorable Kuria, and I've seen him doing a lot of consultations, including the Leader of Majority, and from the information he's gotten. Honorable Kuria, let me give you the chance before I either put the question or maybe we hear from you whether the members have been able to convince you. Honorable Kuria.
Madam Chair, I've listened to the comments of members.
Yes.
In accordance, I would want to propose, Madam Chair, a further amendment. Members, I propose to take that
members,
one.
I hope you're hearing, because after this I'll put
in
the
line
question.
in line with the comments by Honorable Makali Mulu. But at the same time, Madam Chair, and much as I'm grateful that the House has supported the issue of setting a maximum limit, there must be a consequence. This government has, we do things on paper, but if there's no consequence, it is just empty talk that we are doing here, even on 87.1. So the promissory note is going to ensure that there's a consequence for non-payment. Because if there's no consequence, then all we have done is nothing. Madam Chair, and the Chair of Budget has given a very good example about what we are borrowing in China. We need to take care of people who have lent money to government in terms of paying bills before even we take care of China. We must too take care of our people. If there's someone to suffer, it should not be our people. Our people cannot be the fall guys. It cannot be that because we want to pay China, why would you pay China before paying our people? Madam Chair, let us have introspection on this. I beg to move this amendment, and I seek to members, I beseech members to look at this particular issue, because these people are from Garissa, these people are from Seme, these people are from
Moses Kuria, you'll be
Madam Chair,
spoiling for
I
yourself.
beg to move.
You'll be spoiling for yourself. Yes, a leader of majority. You have the... It's interesting today.
No,
Leader of
Chair,
majority
you know, Moses Kuria
was doing very well.
is very isolated out there. And now of late you have seen him in the house. He wants to campaign using the floor, the privilege.
No.
The privilege of the house. He's even talking about China. So Chair, this is the committee of the house, people cannot talk for long. We don't want to listen, we have other party leaders.
Yes. Leader of majority. No, Honorable Moses Kuria, you're now spoiling for yourself. Honorable members, the Honorable Moses Kuria has moved up. Honorable members, I want to propose a question. No. We must move. Honorable members, I propose the question, which is that the proposed amendment be amended by deleting 2B. And that is to 87B. I move to put the question this, which is that the proposed amendment be amended by deleting 2B. And this is on 87B. Members will, as many as of this opinion, say aye. And as many as a contrary opinion, say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable members, on that 87, I now put the question, which is that new section 87B, as amended, be now read a second time. As many as of this opinion say aye. And as many as of contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Now, members, I propose a question to the new section, which is that new section 87B be parts of the bill. I see no interest to debate on this, and I now move to put the question, or members, which is that the new section 87B be part of the bill. Will as many as of the opinion say aye? Aye. As many as of contrary opinion say nay? Or members, the ayes have it.
New section 134, 2A, 2B, and 2C.
Members, I'm sure now we can move faster of the area of interest. Before I propose the question, we have an amendment to this section by the Honorable Joseph Ngugi. Honorable Ngugi, please move your amendment to this. And now, members, we can move a bit faster.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Chair, mine is just a minor proposal. I propose that section 134.2, 2A, 2B, 2C be read for a second time.
Very well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to explain. This one is to do section 2A, section 2B, and section 2C. This one is to do with contracts which are over 5 billion, which require the Attorney General to approve. So I'm saying that the accounting officer, on getting the evaluation report under section 2A, should be able to give the AG those documents so that the AG can give his comments within 14 days. On receipt of the AG's comment, the accounting officer should within 7 days be able to incorporate the comments from the AG and to award the tender or to do whatever he deems fit within 7 days. Can I explain again?
Yes, you can.
Let me explain. This one is to do with contracts worth 5 billion, which require the AG to approve. So I'm saying, when the accounting officer gets the evaluation report, within 3 days, he should be able to submit the documents to the AG. Then the AG should be able to act within 14 days. Then after 7 days, the accounting officer should be able to incorporate the comments of the AG. Is it a long? Is it long? The current status has no timeline. I'm just trying to introduce a timeline.
Very well. Yeah. With that import of the amendment by the Honorable Ngugi, members, I propose.
You see, leader.
You still want to.
Yeah, leader, I wanted to explain.
Honorable members have not proposed, and then I can give time.
Yeah?
You want to explain further?
Yeah, I want to explain.
Yes.
Leader, I wanted to say, you know there's 14 days tendering period. Then there's another 14 days for evaluation. Then I'm proposing, in case the tender requires the consent of the AG, the accounting officer should be able to take those documents to the AG within 3 days. Because the evaluation will be over. Then within 14 days, within 14 days, the AG should be able to act. Then within 7 days, the accounting officer should be able to incorporate those comments. And I propose.
Very well. With that, honourable members, I propose a question, which is that new section 134.2a, 134.2b, and 134.2c be now read a second time. Says anybody, Honourable?
Chair, I think, yes, it is good that we have timelines, but we must be very careful about the timelines we are putting in law, because we are now assuming that the AG does nothing else or has nothing else, he's just waiting for this voluminous document, and he may have many of them, tens of them, that he needs to deal with. And you also know that these voluminous documents sometimes, if not looked at very keenly, can put us in real trouble as a nation. And we have witnessed that, where we've gotten into some contracts that have put us in a very, very precarious position as a nation and as a government. So I propose that we either increase that number of days or we withdraw, Madam Speaker, because we do not want the AG to simply rush through a document and give us the wrong advice. We want him to do the right thing and ensure he protects the nation, especially on such big contracts. We are talking about 5 billion and over, Madam Chair. These are not small issues.
Very well. That is a debate from Honourable Barire. Kajwang, Honourable Member.
Chair, I rise to oppose this with a lot of respect to Member for Gatanga. You see, this is over-prescriptive. There are so many things that we do not need to put into law. There are administrative actions that can be taken. If the Attorney General has been delaying, we can have administrative systems that will make him hasten what he's been doing. But the big problem here is that Attorney General often will do what is called due diligence. When you have a contract of 5 billion or those kind of things, Attorney General must send his representative to those places to see for themselves whether this thing exists or not. Sometimes the Attorney General will have to take legal advice from other jurisdictions to find out how does this thing work before they can do the approval. That is what happened, and my friend Daktari here from SEME knows what happened to that equipment which is shredding hyacinth in Kisumu. They didn't go to Italy to see for themselves whether this thing was there, and before they knew it, they were procuring something which does not work. So I think, with a lot of respect for Member for Gatanga, this you are shooting your foot. You will be putting the Attorney General at a place that he is unable to work, or he will be giving you opinions that you cannot rely on.
And of course, please let us avoid repetition so that we can move a bit faster. Ichungwa, and then I give to Leader Majo, then I put the question.
Chair, I want to join Honourable Kajwang in strongly opposing that particular provision. As Honourable Cicely has said, you're not just limiting the AG's time in terms of being able to shillings. And we must desist, Honourable Speaker, in this House from being used by tenderpreneurs, because it is tenderpreneurs that would want a very rushed process that has not been scrutinized by the Attorney General, Honourable Speaker, to facilitate their business, Honourable Speaker, and therefore want to strongly oppose.
So you are opposing.
Provision.
Very well noted. The House of Debate, Leader of Majority.
Chair, but you will not allow Honorable Ichungwa to go away with that. He needs to tell us who are the tenderpreneurs. Myself and TJ and Millie, we are not tenderpreneurs. We keep camel, goats, and we do fishing from the natural environment. But Chair, I really want to oppose and ask my colleague that the office of the Attorney General is a serious office. For you to do a due diligence, you require more than 3 months, 6 months, a proper due diligence to save the taxpayers their money. Imagine you are telling the AG that you have 7 days, and maybe he's attending a meeting in New York. So what happens? So I really want
you are
member for
opposing-
Gatanga is a good friend of mine. We don't want to subject his amendment to vote. He just dropped it because he was a good
Thank you, Leader of Majority. The
No,
last
he's,
one, let me give it, yes.
He's pointing out to somebody else, but if we go that route, then that must be another entrepreneur.
Let me hear, then, is it a member for Masinga?
Is that entrepreneur?
The member for Masinga.
Yeah, thank
The
you.
public should know now the lawmaking process.
Thank-
Members, I am very grateful to
Thank
the
you,
members
Madam
who are very
Speaker.
keen on this.
I was
lawmaking
wondering
process.
why you are not seeing us on
No,
this
no, no,
side.
we notice you. We notice you.
And,
The member for Masinga.
Our cards are actually inserted. What Engineer Katanga, Mheshimiwa Katanga is trying to say is that because contracts ama tenders have got a deadline of evaluation, you cannot evaluate tenders forever because they expire. So what he is trying to say is that the time should be limited because it might expire and then it is retendered even before it is awarded. So what he's trying to do is to shorten, even if it is not 14 days, but it should be shortened so that it does not evaluate after it has been evaluated.
The
Because
member for Masinga, you are supporting the proposed amendment or you are not supporting?
I am supporting him.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Then members, yes, this is a house of debate. Allow me, because some are supporting, some are also opposing. Allow me put the question to this for the house to take a vote. Members, I now put the question, which is the new section 134.2a, 134.2b, and 134.2c. Be now read a second time. Will as many as of this opinion say aye? And as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The nays have it. Then now, next.
New section 139.2.
We have a proposed amendment to new section 139.2 by Honorable Joseph Gugi. Again, just move your amendment, please.
This one is good. I hope leader you'll agree. Madam Chair, I propose that section 139.2 be read for a second time. This one, the proposed amendment was giving powers to the contractor to extend the contract period and to deal with the reimbursable costs. That is a duty of the contract administrator or the project manager. So I'm recommending an accounting officer of a procuring entity on recommendation of an evaluation committee may approve extension of time and reimbursable costs. And under section 2A, I'm saying that one shall be accompanied by recommendation from the contract administrator. Yeah, and that is the way it is in the industry. This amendment was wrong, the way it was put.
Okay. With that import to the amendment of members, I propose a question, which is a new section 139 to be now read a second time. Is a contribution. I'm sure there's nothing is out of order unless you contribute. Yes, Ichungwa, then I go to...
Honorable Speaker, not really. The proposal of the amendment has explained one bit of the amendment in terms of the extension of the period. But this reimbursable costs, Honorable Speaker, that could be where the devil is in the details.
You want clarification of the same?
We want further clarification of what is this
Before I give
reimbursable cost.
Kajwang, please, the mover, can you clarify on that so that we move faster for members to take a vote on informed decision? Honorable, clarify on that. And,
the amendment reimbursable costs, Honorable Chair, there are things like increase in prices and which are catered for under most contracts. Yeah, maybe additional works which have been done. Sorry, I thought he was the chairman because he's harassing me.
No, please.
And calling me tender pranua.
Address the chair.
Thank you. You are really harassing me, Bona
You-
Chunga, and
but you're
calling me
protected.
tender pranua, which I'm
Honorable
not.
Chungwa, stop harassing Honorable Jaggi as he complains. Please allow him just clarify for you so that
Yeah.
the House and other members, of course. Yes, Honorable Member.
Can I continue?
Yes, continue to clarify.
I was saying there are costs, maybe additional costs related to the works Variations, these are supposed to be led by the contract administrator, not the contractor, and that is what I'm proposing.
Okay, the member for Kajwang, I mean, there's no constituency by the name Kajwang. The Honorable Kajwang.
Although Ruaraka is synonymous to Kajwang. But Chair, again, I want to invite my friend, member for Gatanga, to think through this. We shouldn't over-legislate. We should allow the principle of free economy to work on its own. These are contractual terms. If you are doing roads construction, there is FIDIC contractual terms that engineers in that sector, lawyers in that sector, contractors in that sector, they all know it. But it is not in the law. If you go to procurement of other goods and services, you do not have to prescribe everything because those things are in the contract themselves. And you allow parties the freedom, to change contracts and to negotiate according to how those goods look like. And so when you say, for example, that goods that they may extend, that is usually the case in contracts. But you can also have contracts in which the parties decide that there will be no extensions. Now, if you legislate, you tie the hands of the procurement entities from negotiating as swift as they can. And so I want to ask a member for Gatanga that because these things are already in the contracts that we are talking about, we shouldn't put them in legislation. Otherwise, we will be stifling the process of legislation.
So are you opposing your proposal?
I oppose.
You oppose. Let me have Honorable Kolosh, because it's not just a house overview. Before you, let me hear Honorable Kolosh, and then...
Thank you. I think
you already spoke to this, Honorable Chungwa.
Thank you, Madam.
There was nothing which was out of
I have made my maiden
Honorable
speech.
Kolosh, yes.
I have made my maiden speech in the 12th Parliament, and they should thank me that I can be here, I can cross the floor, and TJ and the likes cannot do much. Yes, that I am in the same Parliament. What I am getting the member saying is simply that instead of giving this leeway to the contractor, let's do it to the administrators of the contract. Meaning, if there is going to be variation or any changes, whether material or prices, whether any changes will be done, must not come from the contractor, but come from the employer. So I support these amendments because it makes the management of contracts easier by ensuring that entities that have issued contracts have full control over the contractor, because contractors can simply delay processes, because if they are in the contract terms, variations and things that are to be taken care of, unless we are very careful, then we will be giving them the leeway to do what they want. That is why the employers should be given the responsibility to be the ones to initiate any variation and any changes to contract terms. Thank you.
A former vice chair of the Public Investments Committee, and I'll tell you the genesis of all corruption in government stems from variations of contracts, especially on pricing, and that is exactly what the member is proposing, and therefore strongly oppose that particular amendment.
Yes, that is your part. Yes, Leader of Majority, you did contribute.
I think member for Gatanga has understood. I've explained to him. And I think what Honorable TJ said is true.
Yes.
We don't need to legislate. There's something which are left for even regulations. There's something which have been left for contracts. And different contracts have got different scope and detail. We cannot, the moment, and I'm sure the chair of PIC will agree with me, there are people who even quote law, but they will make more money under variation. So the moment we put this thing in law, then we are falling into the, yes. So, but the chair is, then we give an opportunity, he wants to withdraw.
He wants to withdraw, we subject it to... Order, we must have order in the House. Honorable Chungwa, we must have order. Order, members. Having listened to the debate, actually I should have just put the question, but having listened to the debate and I've seen a lot of consultation. Let's give to the chair.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I want just to say that Ishungwa should not be intimidating a first-time member. It's very unfair. you should be showing us the way. Absolutely. Yeah, and I've learned from, we have discussed with the leader, and I've realized where my problem is, and I wish to withdraw. I wish to drop those amendments. Yeah, he has guided me very well, and I want to thank the leader for that. Yeah.
Is you are on record, Honorable Member for Kotanga, withdrawing your proposed amendment to new section 139.2? So, Honorable Members, that the section, proposed amendment to new section 139.2 is officially withdrawn or dropped. And so since it was a second reading, then we do away with it. Next.
New section 139.2A.
Again, the Honorable Joseph Gugi, you have an amendment to new section 139.2A. Is it the same? Please, 139.2A. We were on that 9.2.
139. 139.2A.
Yes.
I also wish to drop it.
Is on record, members, that the Honorable
And I want to thank leader for guiding me on this.
You thank the leader of majority for the guidance.
Yeah.
So the Honorable Joseph Gugi is on record withdrawing again new section 139.2A. Next.
New section 142.1.
The Chairman Finance, Honorable Limo, you have an amendment to this.
Okay, Honorable Chair, I beg to move that new section 1A.
142. We are on 142.
Yes, new section 142.1A be now read the second time. The import of this amendment, Madam Chair, is to require that any successful foreign tenderer shall submit a performance security equivalent to the contract amount. The reason for this, Madam Chair, is that in the recent past, we have had so many firms coming from outside the country who come to apply for tender, and once they win, they actually fail. They fail totally because, you know, in their country, actually they are already falling. They are not able to do the contract. Okay. So we are requiring that they take a performance security equivalent to the contract which they are applying. It is important for members to know that this is not applicable to Kenyan companies. This is only for foreign companies.
Okay, Honourable Members, is introduction on air. So, Honourable Members, I propose a question which is a new section 142.1 be now read a second time. Leader of majority, you always have the priority to speak. Leader of majority.
This man, I am more senior than him. Chair, I
You
think
know
this amendment of the chair is very good. Number one, and I want to give the example of the dams in Elgeyo Marakwet, where a company comes, they are given 10%, they look for their own insurance in Rome, and then after 5 months, they say they are bankrupt. So we're saying any foreign contractor must first place an equivalent of the contract sum as bid bond. That's number one. Number two, the local insurer, our local company, Kenyan insurer, our underwriters must be used and not foreign insurers, so that the money can be saved. You know, now the company has disappeared. The person who has insured those dams is in Rome. So what the chairman is saying is, if you are a foreign company, and today we are seeing even small Chinese companies competing with the local contractors for even 50 million. We must give them a benchmark. If you get a contract in Kenya, you must provide a similar bid bond, and you must use the local insurance companies.
Thank you. Very well, you support. The member for community, the members in those two.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, last time when I had amendments from the IBC PAC, where they were talking of the people who supplied and the issues of local incorporation, it goes in the same spirit. What Honorable Limo has said, we do support. Let's have the bid bond of 100% equivalent, and let's have a local for the interest of the Kenyans. Because many times these bodies come here, and look, when you Google, some of them have been blacklisted. So it is important we have the local incorporation for purposes of mitigating the risk.
Very well. Member for Mwingi North. No, Honorable Kajwang, you cannot speak to every. There are so many members who have interest to this, but I note your interest. Honorable member for.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would like to support the proposal, but I would like to ask the chairman. Chairman, I'm addressing Chairman Finance. As much as I agree with the proposed conditions, Chairman is not listening, Madam.
He's listening to you. He's listening to you. Carry on and you're on record, actually.
Yeah, I'm saying in as
And you
much
actually
as...
address me, not the others.
Yeah, I'm saying, Madam Chairman, that... Chair lady, sorry.
I'm not chairman, I was wondering.
In as much as I agree with the proposed conditions for foreign contractors, I think we must be realistic in the conditions we put. If we say that people have got to give performance bond worth the amount of contract, I think it is not realistic. We should have a certain, it is my opinion, so please allow me to say it.
Your project, just make your comment, Honorable Member.
Yeah, if we are talking of a contract of 20 billion, and then we say you must provide a bond of 20 billion, I think it is not realistic. We should have a percentage. Like currently, the law says you do a performance bond of 10%.
Very well.
And then the law also says that you give a advance payment guarantee of about 20%. I was just pleading with the chairman if we could consider giving a more realistic figure, like a percentage of 50% of the contract, because...
Thank you. Now, honorable members, you want to inform who now, Honorable? Allow me just put the question to this.
Okay.
Honorable Chris, you want to inform the member for North. Are you ready to be informed by Honorable Chris Amalo?
Insurance.
No, Chris, you just accepts your information.
You've already given me.
No, I must use procedures on it. You are not on record. Honorable member for Mwingi, were you ready to be informed by Honorable Chris? Yeah, let him be on record. We must follow.
Yes, I'm ready.
You are ready. Chris, inform the member for.
Thank you, Madam
That is
Chair.
of the
When it comes
done.
to a guarantor, and you're talking of insurance, when it's 100 million, you don't give the equivalent 100 million. Insurance works differently. If it's a bank, that's where it's equivalent. But if it's a bid bond insurance, 100% equivalent, let's say if it's 10 million, you'll only give us some small percentage. So insurance, you don't give, like the way banks, the value.
With that information and the debate that has arose, members, I now put the question, which is the new section 142.1, be now read a second time. Members will, as many as of this opinion, say aye, and as many as of contrary opinion, say nay. The ayes have it. I propose the question, which is a new section 142.1, be part of the bill. No interest to debate on this. Members, I move to put the question, which is that new section 142.1 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of the opinion say aye? And as many as contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it, members. Next.
New section 142, proviso.
Honorable Joseph Gugi, you have an amendment to the proviso?
Amendment number?
New section 142.
140?
2.
142, I wish to drop.
You wish to withdraw? Honorable members, Honorable Joseph Gugi is on record withdrawing new section 142, the proviso amendment. Next.
New section 142.3.
Chair Finance, Honorable Limo, you have an amendment to new section 142.3.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that new section 142.3 be now read the second time. The import of this clause is to set out exclusions for the requirements of performance security when it relates to contracts which does not exceed 100,000, and those ones which are reserved for people with disability and disadvantaged groups like women and youths. That is the import of that.
That is the import. Members, yes. I propose a question, which is that new section 142.3 be now read a second time. No interest to speak to this. I think it was a straightforward proposal of a second reading. And neither move to put the question, which is a new section 142.3 be now read a second time. Will as many as of the opinion say aye? And as many as the contrary opinion say nay, members, the ayes have it. Next. Allow me put the question to the bill, which is that new section 142.3 be part of the bill. I move to put the question, which is that new section 142.3 be part of the bill. As many as have the opinion say aye. Aye. And as many as have contrary opinion say nay, the ayes have it. Next.
New section 143.
We have an amendment again by the chairperson, Limo.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that new section 143 be now read the second time. This basically defines the nature of performance security, which is a bank guarantee, an insurance guarantee, or irrevocable letter of credit, just to define how it should come.
Very well. I propose the question, which is a new section 143, be now read a second time. Honorable Kajwang.
Chair, perhaps the chair should express himself more on this so that it is clearer. But I have a problem in how he has worded his amendment. He's saying that the performance security may not generate interest. Chair, Chair of Finance, through you, Madam Chair, if you just paid attention, I'd just make the point.
Honorable Limo, Honorable Kajwang wants some.
Your wording is that it may not generate interest. Now that's the problem. How I wish you shouldn't have used the word generate. Maybe you should have said attract interest or earn interest. When you say generate interest, you mean something else. But two, if you mean that it should not generate, it should not earn interest.
You're also using the generation.
No. I want to make this point that if your point should be that it should not earn interest, yes, then you should say shall not. When you say may not, then you are very ambiguous. So, Chair of Committee, would you want to recast your language so that you are very clear on what
address him through me, Honorable. Yes, thank you, Honorable Kajwang. Yes.
Of course, through you, Madam Chairperson, through you.
Oh, thank you. Honorable Limo, please just, it's a matter of clarification. You know this English, earning.
Yes, I respect that, Mheshimiwa Kajwang, he comes from a place where English is...
where English is
yes, he's a black English man. Lawyer. And therefore, maybe he is actually making some sense somehow, though, you see, may, if you put shall, it's like, it will be like it's compulsory, really. But, may will give some flexibility. Yes.
Honorable Limo, his concern is how the security shall, your proposal is to earn interest or not to earn interest. And then
okay.
I put the question.
Okay, yes. I might not be really an expert in drafting.
Yes.
But if indeed this is a housekeeping issue which will make the draft better, then I will not resist that particular one, but subject to real technical advice from the drafters.
Okay, very well. Yes, member for Honorable Malio.
Yeah, what I would like to, thank you, Madam Speaker. What I would like to say is that performance bonds do not attract any interest at all. Even if you buy it and you bond yourself with a contract, it doesn't have any interest. So I think this should be done, should have done a bit of homework.
Honorable Chris Wamala.
Madam Chair, when you have a bond, it's normally given a time frame. Can be 1 year, 2 years. Then upon expiry, you renew. So it has nothing to do with interest. In the practice, interest is never there. Yeah. Yes.
The chair is here, he has listened, and you know, the chair myself now, my hands are tied. I can only now put the question
Chair
for
said
members.
maybe there was a drafting mistake.
Yes.
Because there's a precedence that has been set.
I gave him time to express
That's
himself.
why
Yes.
normally it's clear, it's specifics, that when you have that bond or that performance,
Yes.
it's for the duration of 2 months if the contract will take 2 months. Or if it's 1 year, they extend another half year. So normally it's a term which is spelled out when you get it. But interest does not apply in this case.
Honorable Chairperson, having listened to the members, I think the interest is about
Yes.
that interest thing. So please,
Okay, having listened carefully and having
Yes.
considered,
And look at the documentation of the
we will move
amendment.
it with amendment that we replace the word may with shall. Yes, it will read shall not generate instead of may not.
This House of answered. The Honorable Chair has moved it in that amended form. So we want to take it as having been moved in that form. So, Honourable members, I propose a question, which is that new section 143 be now read a second time. I move to put the question, which is a new section 143 be now read a second time. Honourable members, will as many as have this opinion say aye? Members, I am putting the question. Honourable members, I proceed to put the question, which is a new section 143 be now read a second time. Will as many as of this opinion say aye? And as many as the court opinion say nay? The ayes have it. We had a proposed amendment by Honourable Joseph Gugi, and now that we have the amendment by Honourable Limo has been carried, then the Honourable Gugi's amendment is dropped. It is, not that you, as you much, yes, it has already been covered. Thank you so much. Then I propose a question that new section 143 be part of the bill. I move to put the question, which is that new section 143 be part of the bill. Members, will as many as of the opinion say aye? Even the chairperson. Order. Honorable Chris Omalo, you are confusing even the chair because it's looking as if you're trying to intimidate. I'm trying to put the question. The chair, members. As many as are of the opinion say aye, and as many as are contrary opinion say nay, the ayes have it.
New section 144.2.
The Honorable again, Limo, you have an amendment to the new section 144.2?
Madam Chair, I beg to move that new section 144.2 be now read a second time. This actually is for the purpose of creating obligation for the financial institution which gave the performance security to pay the procuring entity the secured amount against lodging a claim. So it's bringing the obligation to the person who gave the performance security.
Give me the mic. Members, I propose a question, which is a new section 144.2 be now read a second time. I think members have tried to understand the import to this, and I move to put the question, which is a new section 144.2 be now read a second time. Will as many as are of this opinion say aye? Honourable members, as we should appreciate the lawmaking process. Honourable Macau, give the chair even to take a vote. Members, I put the question, which is a new section 144.2 be now read a second time. Members, will as many as of this say aye? And as many of different opinions say nay? The ayes have it. I propose a question, which is a new section 144.2 be part of the bill. No interest to speak to this, and I move to put the question on members, which is that new section 144.2 be part of the bill. As many as are of the opinion say aye. It is men as a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Members, on the same again, we had a proposed amendment by Honorable Joseph Gugi, and now that the amendment by the Honorable Limo has been read, then Honorable Gugi. Yeah, just give for this. Yes, it is. The mic is there.
Oh, the next. Madam Chair, I've realized most of these amendments, I had made them, but the chair picked on them in his latest amendment. That is why I'm dropping them.
Yes.
Yeah, that is what I've realized. They had come from me.
Yes,
Yeah.
you had
So
the
I
same.
drop
You drop
and give the chairman. And next time, maybe chairman should say who had brought the amendments.
Yes. You're on record. But again, procedurally, if the amendment having been taken, then you ask officially, but thank you for the understanding, and that is the procedure. Next.
New section 144.3.
We have a proposed amendment by now you. You are now not the chair. Honorable Gugi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I also wish to drop this amendment.
Honorable Joseph Gugi is on record with withdrawing new section 144.3.
Has already been
proposed
covered.
amendment officially dropped. Yes. Next.
New section 145.1.
We have an amendment. Honorable Limo, please move your amendment on 145.1.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that section 145.1 be now read the second time. Madam Chair, this is just a cross-referencing amendment under section 142.1. Just to emphasize that the validity of the period of performance security shall be stipulated in the new amendment, which is 10 years.
Very well, honorable members, I propose that the new section 145.1 be now read a second time. Honorable members, I propose a question that I put the question that new section 145.1 be now read a second time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. All down members, it will be important for members to express themselves on whichever way on this. I know it has been a long afternoon. I will take that again. Honorable members, I put the question that new section 145.1 be now read a second time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now propose a question that new section 145.1 be part of the bill. I put the question that new section 145.1 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New section 155.1A, 1B, and 1C.
Very well. Mover, Honorable Chair, new section 145, Honorable Gashagwa, actually. Honorable Gashagwa. Very well. If Honorable Gashagwa is not here, that is dropped.
New section 155.4.
Yes, there is also a proposal for, and that is by Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. Honorable Rigathi Gachagua is absent. That is dropped. Next.
New section 155.6.
The new section 155.6, Honorable Florence Mutua. Very well. I'm advised, actually in writing, that she had nominated Honorable Tuitoek Daniel Kamuren to move that on her behalf. Clearly, even the one who was nominated is absent. So that, again, is dropped.
New section 157.8.
That is by Honorable Joseph Gogi. Honorable Joseph Gogi, you have the
That
floor.
one, Mr. Chair, I wish to drop too.
Very well, that is dropped. Next. The one of
new section 157.8 by Honorable Gashagwa, who is also absent. That is dropped as well.
New section 157.9.
New section 157.9 by Honorable Joseph Goge.
That one, Chair, I propose that it should be read for a second time. And the amendment is basically to deal with works done under joint ventures in partnership with foreign contractors. What I'm proposing is that works which are awarded to citizen contractors must be documented and put into the contract so that those works are known and that particular contractor is paid directly by the particular bidder. Because what we have seen, especially with SGR, where they went into partnership with local contractors, our local contractors were given very short work, maybe to clean the railway stations, and the Chinese went with all the money. And that is why I'm supporting this amendment. And I proposed.
Very well. Honorable members, I propose the question that new section 157.9 be now read a second time. Honorable members, I put the question that new section 157.9 be now read a second time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now propose a question that new section 157.9 be part of the bill. I put the question that new section 157.9 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New section 167.2.
Honorable Joseph Goge.
That one I can drop.
You can
that
drop
one I beg
or
to
you,
drop, yeah.
you drop?
I beg to drop that one, yeah.
Very well, that is dropped. Next.
New section 177.
New section 177 by Honorable Gashagwa. Is Gashagwa here? He is not here. That is dropped. The question that the provisions relating to the Public Procurement and Assets Disposal Act 2015, number 33 of 2015, be 2, 4, and 8 be amended as proposed in the bill. With us, yes, Honorable Miri. Well, Honorable Miri, I just mentioned that earlier. We are dealing with section 2, 4, and 8 of the National Employment Authority Act 2016, number 3 of 2016, and the 3 sections have no amendments. That you have an amendment on the next one, not on section 2, 4, and 8. 8A, not 8. Is it so? Yes, be on record.
Chair, I have a proposed new subsection GG after G in 8.
Honorable Miri, if you read what you're proposing, you are by inserting the following new paragraph immediately after the proposed new paragraph G in the proposed new section 8A. If you read what is in the order paper, page 706. So you are dealing with yours relates to section 8A.
And we are dealing with
8, 4, and 2. There is an 8, there is an 8A.
Okay. Sorry.
Honorable members, I put the question that section 2, 4, and 8
be amended as proposed in the bill? Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New section 8A.
Yes. Honorable, Honorable Miri.
Thank you, Chair.
Section 8A.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I propose an amendment to Section 8A, which is an insertion of a new subsection GG after G. And the essence of that proposal is that there are many women migrant workers who are often victims of trafficking in persons and need rehabilitation before integration into the society. So I'm seeking to have that included as part of what it will do.
Very well. Honorable members, I propose a question that section 8A be amended as proposed by the mover. Honorable members, I put the question that section 8A be amended as proposed by the mover. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Section 17.2.
Yes, Honorable Miri, you propose a deletion?
Yes, Chair, I wish to propose a deletion, but with a further amendment. Chair, if you actually see the way what is proposed, and perhaps maybe if I can just inform the members, that the thinking behind the National Employment Authority Act, which was moved by Honorable Sakaja, was mainly targeting young people. So he was hoping that even when you are hiring, that it will give advantage to young people. What the proposed amendment seeks to do is to curtail the chances of young people. So what I'm trying to do is that it gives, when you put, for instance, at the, you bring an amendment to provide that the persons must have masters, that must have 10 years experience. Some of us were became directors without 10 years. So I think sometimes we limit people for no reason. And so the only further amendment I wanted is that I'd proposed deletion of the proposed amendment in D, which is has not attained the age of 35 years at the time of appointment. When you do that, it actually closes and makes sure that it is only the youth. Whereas I would want it to be open for the youth to have an advantage, but I would also not want a situation where it is only the youth who can be the Director General. So I would want to drop my proposed amendment to D, but retain the rest.
Honorable Miri, just to be clear completely, because you are doing a further amendment on your feet, are you then effectively dropping your proposed amendment?
No.
Or is it just part of it? Just to be clear on record, it is important.
Chair, maybe I can just read it out so that we are clear on record. Chair, if you look at 17.2, it says for the Director General, one, that there shall be a Director General of the authority who shall be appointed competitively by the board. A person shall be qualified to be appointed as a Director General if that person holds a degree. What these guys were trying to do is to say should not just hold a degree but have masters. So I'm opposing that. I'm saying let the person have a degree is enough. You don't have to have a master's. Secondly, they were saying the person must have 10 years experience when the law says it is 5 years. So I'm opposing the 10 years and saying let us retain 5 years so that we promote our young people. But the one I'm dropping is D. D that says has not attained the age of 35 years at the time of appointment. That one, I support the mover that we drop that one because then it limits and makes it only available to young people. But what I'm proposing is that it should be available to everyone, both young and old, but that when you make it 5 years and 10 years, then you are actually including the youth. Because sometimes we say we include the youth, but we put technicalities that then excludes them. Like when we put too many years and too many very high qualifications, then we are excluding the youth. So I'm dropping only the D.
Very well. Honorable members, I propose a question that section 17.2 be amended as proposed by the mover. I now put the question that section 17.2 be amended as proposed by the mover. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Sections 28, subsection 1, 30, subsection 1, 30, subsection 3, 30, subsection 3, 33, subsection 1, 33, subsection 3, 37, subsection 1, 37, subsection 2, and 42, subsection 2.
Honorable members, I propose a question that section 28.1, 31, 33, 33, 33.1, 33.3, 37.1, 37.2, and 42.2 be amended as proposed in the bill. Honorable members, I put the question that section 28.1, 31, 33, 33, 33.1, 33.3, 37.1, 37.2, 42.2 be amended as proposed in the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, I now put the question that the provisions relating to the National Employment Authority Act 2016, number 3 of 2016, as amended, be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Provisions relating to the Fisheries Management and Development Act, number 35 of 2016.
Honorable members, I propose a question that the provisions relating to the Fisheries Management and Development Act 2016, number 35 of 2016, be amended as proposed in the bill.
Section 2.
Yeah, this is an amendment by Honorable Majority Leader, Honorable
Chair,
Baride.
I wish to move an amendment on Section 2 of the Act, Chair, which seeks to change the name of the Advisory Council from the Kenya Fisheries Advisory Council to Kenya Fisheries and Oceans Advisory Council. The justification for this amendment, Mr. Chairman, is that it is intended to expand and enhance the mandate of the Advisory Council to include oceans in order to embrace the blue economy. The amendment to the definition of the word council is therefore necessary as a consequence of the name change. Thank you, Chair. I beg to move.
Honorable members, I propose a question that section 2 be amended as proposed by the mover. Honorable Miri Odhiambo, do you have an amendment to section 2? Are you sure? Section 2. Yes, indeed, Honorable Miri Odhiambo from the order paper. But let's dispense that with that of the majority leader. So I was to put the question. I now put the question that section 2 be amended as proposed by the mover. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable Miri Odhiambo, you have an amendment as well on that section.
Thanks, Chair. Chair, I wish to move an amendment as per the order paper. And if you look at the proposal there, it actually deletes the word commercial in the word artisanal. And Chair, through this, I'm seeking to protect small-scale fish farmers from stringent rules and licenses, so that if you're actually doing fishing, but in a small-scale level, you should not be subjected to too much stringent rules. Because, yes, there are people who will be fishing for subsistence, but then they might sell the five or 6 pieces of fish. So we shouldn't be putting them to too much stringent rules. And then again, I think maybe what we should have done was to harmonize the definition between artisanal and subsistence fisheries.
Very well. Honorable members, I propose a question that section 2 be amended as proposed by the mover. I put the question that section 2 be amended as proposed by the mover. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Section 58.2, 58.4, 81.3, and 81.4.
84.1.
84.1.
Honorable members, I propose a question that, sections 58.2, 58.4, 81.3, 84.1 be amended as proposed in the bill. I put the question that section 58.2, 58.4, 81.3, 84.1 be amended as proposed in the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Section 84.2.
Honorable Miri Odiabo, you have an amendment?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I propose an amendment to section 84.2 by deleting the proposed amendment. And Chair, this is because if you look at the Fisheries Management Act and if you look at the schedule to the Constitution that gives the mandates to both the county and the national government, this is actually taking away the mandate of the county governments. Fisheries is solely, if you may, actually a county function. But now what it seeks to do, and if you see already we have mutilated this act a lot and given a lot of the mandate of the county to the national government. So really the little that's remaining will seem to be taken away. So this is the mandate of a county, it's not the mandate of the national government.
Honorable members, honorable members, I propose a question that section 84.2 be amended as proposed by the mover. I put the question that section 84.2 be amended as proposed by the mover. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Sections 84.4, 84.5, 85.1, and 86.1.
Honorable members, I propose a question that section 84.4, 84.5, 85.1, 86.1 be amended as proposed in the bill. I put the question that sections 84.4, 84.5, 85.1, 86.1 be amended as proposed in the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Section 86.3.
Honorable Chair of Agriculture, Honorable Dan Haji, you have a... the chair is not present, so that is dropped.
Section 88.
In that case, there is no amendment on that. So I propose a question that section 86.3 be amended as proposed in the bill. I put the question that section 86.3 be amended as proposed in the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Section 88.1.
Honorable Chair of Agriculture is absent, so honorable members, I propose a question that section 88.1 be amended as proposed in the bill. I put the question that section 88.1 be amended as proposed in the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Sections 88.2, 89.1, 91.2a, 91.5.
I propose a question that sections 82.2, 89.1, 91.2a, 91.5 be amended as proposed in the bill. No amendment on that. I put the question that sections 88.2, 89.1, 91.2a, 91.5 be amended as proposed in the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Section 98.1.
Honorable Miri Odiabo, you have an amendment to that, section 98.1.
Thank you, Chair. I propose an amendment to section 98, 1H. And Chair, what the Parent Act provides is that for foreign vessels, they shall ensure that they employ at least 40% of Kenyans. What this proposed amendment does is to remove the requirement that at least 40% of Kenyans are employed. So I am actually returning it back, that they ensure that Kenyans are employed when you have.
Very well. Honorable members, I propose a question that section 98(1) be amended as proposed by the mover. I put the question that section 98(1) be amended as proposed by the mover. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Sections 112.1, 112.1A, 114.2, 141, 2011, 2022, 2061, and 2071.
Honorable members, I propose a question that sections 112.1, 112.1A, 114.2, 141, 201.1, 2022, 2061, 2071 be amended as proposed in the bill. Honorable members, I put the question that sections 112.1, 112.1A, 114.2, 141, 201.1, 2022, 2061, 2071 be amended as proposed in the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Chair, I wish to move an amendment to section 6, whose aim is to reflect the name change and also seek to make the Cabinet Secretary for Fisheries the chairperson of the Advisory Council due to its advisory nature for continuity to follow up of recommendations of the Council's recommendations.
Yes, it is because it's a new one. You propose that it be read now, read a second time.
I propose that this amendment be now read a second time.
Honorable members, I propose a question that new part 2 be now read a second time. I now put the question that new part 2 be now read a second time. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now propose the question that new part 2 be part of the bill. I put the question that new part 2 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New section 6.1.
Honorable Barire for Majority Leader. That is new section 6.1.
Chair, I think I got confused, and what I moved was actually what you're asking me to right now, the new section 6.1.
Then move the section.
Let me.
Section.
Allow,
We are now in section.
Allow me, Chair.
6.1. Consult your. Yeah, just take a minute to consult. Yeah, Honorable Barire, I'm sure you are now at same page. Please proceed to move second reading of new section 6.1.
Yeah, Chair, let me first make it clear that I'd already moved the new section 6.1, and so I moved to.
No, you had not moved section 221. Earlier on, you had moved new part 2.
Yes. So I had moved, I had moved new section part 2.
Very well.
So I'm now going to move new section 6.1.
Yes, proceed.
Which is, I propose, Chair, that we delete the words Kenya Fisheries Advisory Council and substitute therefore the words Kenya Fisheries and Oceans Advisory Council. Further, delete paragraph A and substitute therefore the new paragraph A, which reads the Cabinet Secretary responsible for fisheries, who shall be the chairperson. Thank you, Chair.
I propose a question, Honorable Member, I propose a question that new section 6.1 be now read a second time. I put the question that new section 6.1 be now read a second time. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now propose a question that new section 6.1 be part of the bill. I now put the question that new section 6.1 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New section 6.3.
Honorable Barire for Majority Leader, new
Yes,
section 6.3.
6.3, Chair, I move that the said section be deleted.
6.3 be now read a second time. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I propose the question that new section 6.3 be part of the bill. I put the question that new section 6.3 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New section 11.1A.
Honorable Barire, second reading of new section 11.1A.
Chair, I wish to propose that new section 11.1A be deleted from the words that start.
No, it's second reading. It can't be deleted because it's a new section. You are proposing second reading.
Okay. Chair, I wish to propose that new section 11.1A be now read a second time. I wish to propose that the word that we delete the words from among the members appointed under paragraph C and insert the words and oceans immediately after the words fisheries appearing in subsection 1.
Honorable members, I propose a question that new section 11.1A be now read a second time. I put the question that new section 11.1A be now read a second time. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I put the question that new section 11.1A be part of the bill. I put the question that new section 11.1A be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Section 47.
New section 47, second reading, Honorable Barire.
Chair, I wish to propose that new section 47 be now read a second time. Chair, I propose that we insert the words and oceans immediately after the word fisheries appearing in subsection 1.
Honorable members, I propose that new section 47 be now read a second time. I put the question that new section 47 be now read a second time. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I propose a question that new section 47 be part of the bill. I now put the question that new section 47 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New section 201, subsection 2.
Honorable Barire, second reading, section 201(2).
Chair, I now propose that new section 201 clause 2 be now read a second time. Chair, I wish to propose that new section 201 subsection 2 be deleted.
Very well. Honorable members, I propose a question that new section 201(2) be now read a second time. I put the question that new section 201(2) be now read a second time. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I propose a question that new section 201(2)
2 be part of the bill. I now put the question that new section 201(2) be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New second schedule.
New second schedule. Majority Leader. Second reading.
Chair, I propose that a new section section D be now
New-
read,
new
section
sec-
2071 be now,
Order, Honorable Baride. It is now new second schedule.
Chair. I now propose that new second schedule be now read a second time. Chair, I propose that that there be an amendment to new section 201 by inserting the following new amendments immediately after the amendments proposed to section 201. Delete the expression section 53(2) and substitute therefore the expression section 52. But by deleting the title designated fish landing station and substituting therefore the title designated fish ports.
Honorable members. Yes, what is out of order, Honorable Miri Odiabo? Miri Adiabo.
Odhiambo.
Odhiambo,
Thank you, Chair.
indeed.
Chair, maybe because there's a very clear definition between port and landing station. Maybe if the mover can explain to us the mischief you are trying to cure.
Fair request, Honorable Baride. What are you intending to?
Chair, designated fish landing stations are taken care of by the word ports. We want to make ports all encompassing.
Yes, Honorable Miri.
Chair, unless you really get a good reason, I will oppose that. And the reason I'll oppose that is I'm speaking from my backyard. There is nowhere in my constituency that qualifies as a port. So when you stop the landing base, then it means you will have actually removed all the landing base in Suba North from the realm of the Fisheries Management Act. Unless you can give us really a good reason, or we can further consult on this, because we can bring a further amendment. But because if you actually look at the fisheries, I've not carried mine, but if you look at the Fisheries Act and you see the way the port is defined and the landing base defined, they're totally different things. So what would you be calling our units? Because we don't have a port. What do we have? We have waters or what?
Very well. Yes, Honorable Barida, I'll come to you in a minute. Honorable Oudo?
Thank you, Chair. I also concur with my colleague, Emilio Odhiambo, in standing to oppose the amendments because I come from a fishing community and we land with our fish at any point. Changing the definition to a port from a landing station is just simply complicating matters because the definition of a port, I don't have the act about the Transport Act or Kenya Ports Authority Act. By changing it to a port, it's changing completely the definition. It would mean all our small landing sites in my constituents, for example, including Budalangi, will become illegal, and our fishermen will have nowhere to land without being harassed and arrested by the Marine Police. We stand to oppose.
I want to give Honorable Baride a second stab on that. I can tell Honorable Baride is consulting on on that particular amendment. I will request that the consultation be fast because we need to make progress.
Honorable Baride, please consult fast so that we have to make progress. Time is spent.
Are the ones along the Indian Ocean. So there was need to change and call them all ports so that we can be able to include all the others that are in the country. So the fear Honorable Millie had is now taken care of.
I can tell she wants to speak to this. Please, if you could, in a minute. Honorable Millie.
Yeah, Chair, in a minute, actually, I've looked at the schedule, and it is actually the schedule that was worded wrongly, because they are referring to 3 ports, but they were referring to them as designated landing stations, which means that they're defining those ports as stations which are the rural ones like ours. So I think that's okay.
Very well. Very well. Honorable Udo, you really must speak to this. Please, just have a minute.
Just to go on record, I want to trust the interpretation by Honorable Millie and Cecil Mbarire, and I hope there's no mischief. My people will not suffer. I want to trust what they have said. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Honorable members, I put the question that new second schedule be now read a second time. With as many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. With as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. I propose a question that new second schedule be part of the bill. Honorable members, I put the question that new second schedule be part of the bill. With as many as are of that opinion say aye. With as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable members, I now put the question that the provisions relating to the Fisheries Management and Development Act number 35 of 2016 as amended be part of the bill. With as many as are of that opinion say aye. With as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Title.
Honorable members, I propose a question that the title be amended as proposed in the bill. Honorable members, I put the question that the title be amended as proposed in the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 1.
Honorable members, I propose a question that clause 1 be amended as proposed in the bill. I put the question that clause 1 be amended as proposed in the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, congratulations. We are done on that. The Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendment number 2. Bill, National Assembly Bill number 13 of 2018. Mover.
18 and its approval thereof with amendments.
Honorable members, I put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House's consideration of the Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendment number 2, Bill, National Assembly Bill number 13 of 2018, and its approval thereof with amendment. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Can we have the chairperson to report to the House? The chairperson. Give him the mic, chairperson.
Yes, very well. Madam Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendment number 2, National Assembly Bill number 13 of 2018, and approved the same with amendments. Thank you.
Very well. The mover of the bill to move agreement with the report. Honorable Cecily Barile.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee on the said report. I also request the Honorable Maina Kamanda to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable Maina Kamanda for seconding.
I second.
You do second. Members, I propose a question for adoption, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Members, from where I sit and guided by the procedures of the House, we are not in the position to put the question for the adoption. Next. Next order.
Order number 14, the Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 21 of 2019, second reading.
We have communication. You want to pronounce it yourself, Honorable Cecily Barile? Yes, the request that we had already gotten for deferring of the same. Yes, it's on record. We had gotten a request that from the leader of majority that the Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendment Law, National Assembly Bill number 21 of 2019, second reading be deferred. So I order that we defer same. Order number 14. Next order.
Order number 15, motion, report on the inquiry into procurement and implementation of the accessible goods management system and an integrated production accounting system by the Kenya Revenue Authority.
Chairperson, Public Investment Committee in the House. Yes.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, due to the interest of time, I'd request that members allow me to move this in a very, very short period, and then thereafter I will be requesting the Vice Chair. Madam Speaker, allow me to move.
But Chair, you will still have time if you, but you work within your time. If you really think you'll finish now, but if you don't, you still have, you're entitled to your time.
Considering the size of the whole thing itself, it is something
Very
that,
well.
is, that
Very
we
well.
can actually be able to move, and second, and allow members thereafter. An expression of interest which is provided for in subsection 1 in the form of a notice inviting persons to submit expression of interest is a pre-qualification requirement and does not require or constitute a tender envisaged in section 59.3 of the Public Procurement and Disposal Act. Madam Speaker, the whole thing itself is very, very straightforward, and we were able to get the findings from each and every individual and office that were able to come to us as a committee, and eventually, because of the interest of time, and secondly, Madam Speaker, it is important for this House to be able to agree for us to be able to move forward so that KRA can be able to start collecting the necessary taxes as required by law, and that law has been passed by this very, very House. Some of the things that we wish to make clear, Madam Speaker, is the Kenya Association of Manufacturers and the Kenya Revenue Authority both confirmed that there was an issue of public participation in the rollout of the excisable goods management system. And the Kenya Bureau of Standards and Anti-Counterfeit Agency as well equally confirmed on the same. However, Madam Speaker, it is important, and I'm glad I'm seeing Honorable Omalwe is here, who has already begun a process to be able to legislate and put in place a law on public participation as provided for in the Constitution. Secondly, one of the other recommendations that we have put is that currently the Kenya Revenue Authority should share their information and technology with the Kenya Bureau of Standards and the Anti-Counterfeit Agency at no extra cost whatsoever to the manufacturers. Thirdly, that if this contract, once it expires, then renegotiating a new contract should not be done except with the three agencies together, and that is the Kenya Revenue Authority, Kenya Bureau of Standards, and the Anti-Counterfeit Agency, so that we have a proper synchrony of these agencies together. And now this is something that I would, I'm sure many members would be in agreement with me, Madam Speaker, is that water, pure drinking water, it is the opinion, after listening to views and concerns of all those who were able to present, and as well considering the Constitution of Kenya, one of the other recommendations that we've made is that Parliament should actually ensure that we do not have any taxation on pure drinking water, because this is something that is envisaged in the Constitution of Kenya and as a much needed requirement for any human being. And thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I'd request the Vice Chair to be able to second the motion, Madam Chair.
Very well. Before the Vice Chair to second, allow me interrupt the business a bit. There's a paper that ought to have been laid, and I do allow the Honorable Cecily Balile. Honorable Cecily Balile.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Wednesday, May 8, 2019. List of nominees to Embakasi South Constituency, National Government CDF Committee. 1, Stephen Omari Odero, male youth representative. 2, Duncan Mulo Anduva, male adult representative. Sabina Warukiru Wanjohi, female youth representative. Lynette, that is number 4, Lynette Mugasiali Madete, female adult representative. Number 5, Vincent Odongo Bunde, representative for persons living with disability.
Very well. You table it, and you also have a notice.
Yes, Madam Speaker, I further wish to move to give notice of the following motion, that pursuant to the provisions of Section 43(4) of the National Government Constituency Development Fund Act 2015 and paragraph 510 of the National Government Constituency Development Fund Regulations 2016, this House approves the list of nominees for the appointment to the Embakasi South Constituency Committee of the National Government Constituency Fund, laid on the table of the House today, Wednesday, May 8, 2019.
Very well, very well. Thank you so much. Then now let's get back to the seconding of the motion by the chairperson of the Public Investment Committee.
Madam Speaker, I rise to second this motion. Madam Speaker, on record, the committee had 14 sittings and have examined 10 witnesses, namely the Commissioner, Kenya Revenue Authority, the Chief Executive Officer of the Kenya Bureau of Standards, the Chief Executive Officer of Kenya Anti-Counterfeit Agency, a Member of Parliament from Cherangani 1, Joshua Kutuni, management of SICPA, the Solicitor General, the management of Kenya Association of Manufacturers, the management of Public Procurement Authority, and Office of the Auditor General. The committee have also made a visit to SICPA headquarters in Switzerland. And Madam Speaker, the findings of the committee, as well raised by the chair, has been clear. Speaker, pursuant to Section 78 of the PPO Act 205, it is clear that an expression of interest as provided for in subsection 1 is in form of notice inviting persons to submit expressions of interest as a pre-qualification requirement, and hence does not constitute as a tender as envisaged in section 59(3) of the Public Procurement Disposals Act. Madam Speaker, the committee therefore observed that the Deputy Commissioner for Procurement and Supply Services who wrote to the Evaluation Committee requesting for review of expression of interest report to consider the impact of digitalization on KRA, there was no evidence that has been tabled before the committee to show that the action by the commissioner has interfered with the procurement, with the independence of the evaluation committee, and as such, the committee solely developed their own criteria for the tender. Speaker, Section 26(6) of the Public Procurement and Disposal Act also provides that a procurement entity shall not commence any procurement procedure until it is satisfied that sufficient funds have been set aside in its budget to meet obligations of the contract. Speaker, the committee observed that EGMS program was a self-funding program, as the manufacturer was charged 1 bob per stamp. The question of whether Section 26(6) of the Procurement and Disposal Act, whether it was complied with by KRA, may not therefore be sustained in light of the self-funding nature of the program. Speaker, based on the evidence also adduced by KRA, the committee observed that the need to review pricing mechanism and consequently the contract may have been probably justified by the expansion of the scope of the excise good which the AGMS was to be used, and the need to ensure the sustainability. Above all, Madam Speaker, KRA has sought advice from the Solicitor General, the Office of the Attorney General, who is the principal advisor and who draws his mandate from Article 156 of the Constitution, and as well the Public Procurement and Regulatory Act in seeking to renegotiate with SICPA in the contract. Hence, Madam Speaker, we